can you tell the viewers what the life of Konrad has been over the last few months? Because clearly, setting a bit of context before you answer that, you are probably, in my opinion, one of the biggest tech leaders in Scandinavia. So, what is the magician up to at the moment?
Well, you know, I'm trying to make things good. So I started Zound Industries back in 2009, and it was Sweden's quickest growing company. We do Marshall headphones, Adidas headphones, and we do the speakers and some brands that we developed from our own with Urban Ears, the monochrome, colorful headphones, and sold 20 million products in like close to 100 countries the first 10 years. And I didn't agree with the strategy, so I challenged them and tried to buy back the whole company because we had some investors. It then ended up with that I sold my shares to them, and I started the.
And just when was this, Konrad? Was it over the last few years?
2018.
Okay.
And then I started off an electric boat company called Xshore that been launched globally, and yeah, we've been dubbed as Tesla of the seas. And it's a fantastic product when it comes to both design, the experience, the technology, and of course the sustainability aspect of it. So I've been working a lot with that. On that part, I've been taking a step back, and I'm still the largest owner. I am still in the board of directors, but we have a fantastic team led by Jenny Kesu, and she's doing a terrific job, so I don't have to be there on the daily business. Instead, I put my hands into a natural chemical factory that is kind of Cleantech in Zurich in Switzerland. So I bought in there first in 2016, but kept on investing over the years. And just now, like a month ago, I became the chairman of the company. So I'm been really involved over the last like 9 months. And I invested in another like uncompromised product that is called OGIN, where we do the world's best gin, hand-picked herbs up in Swedish Lapland, distilled in its majesty, best flavors, sold only at the best restaurants, mainly in the Nordics.
Does it sound like Odin on purpose?
It sounds, our master distiller, Jon Oskar, he is from Iceland. So OGIN means kind of poor sheep, and we think it's very fun to play that with that word in that context, because it's quite expensive, because we do it totally uncompromised, and it also means not gin in Swedish and Icelandic, and we are distilling like the best vodka, like a single estate barley vodka as well. So you need to build the stories into these different brand names. Nice. On top of that, I tried to find myself. So I went to Himalaya and did this snowman trek for 28 days, up to 4,000 to 6,000 meters, 500 kilometers. Out in nowhere. So that was really interesting to kind of find my next steps and my path for the next coming 10 years, so to say. I didn't. I only got the fear of missing out, that I need to work more. And then I got the son 5 months ago.
Congratulations.
Congrats.
Thank you. And building a couple of houses and everything else you need to do. It's been busy, so to say. So
wow. I suppose just looking more at the music bit of the life and Zound. You touched upon earlier the change in the ownership and how you come back into the business. Obviously I'm fascinated by music tech, the music industry. Just I suppose in a way, the music marketplace now and how Zound is doing would be a really good thing to talk about here, Konrad.
Sure. I mean, I founded the company and I run it for like 10 years. I wasn't the CEO the past 4 years, but I was doing all the business development and creating the new products and so on. And that came to an end in a pretty bad way, but at the same time, I've been doing it for 10 years, and I believe in the higher things that are telling you, okay, this is now a break. And I was employed by the Marshall family as a trustee to protect their interest of the brand. So in one way, I became the boss of Zound because we were the ones who's licensing the brand to them. And I was that for like 5 years, and I could see that Marshall needed to change. It still haven't reached its full potential. It's a business that is turning around $350 million dollars. But if you look at the brands as such, the potential is billions. And how can you do that? Well, then I saw that these two needs to merge, or one of them needs to buy the other. So I helped them. I was the deal architect to make it work, and then it was really good because I knew the how Zound were thinking and their needs. At the same time, I could talk to the family and understand their needs and find a solution that was something in between the merge and the sale, where the Marshall family is now the biggest owner of Zound, which are changing name to Marshall Group, and are building a foundation to really become that competitive lifestyle sonic brand in the electronics space.
Keeping it kind of topical as well with the music focus, and given that we all kind of look into the future a little bit, I was wondering if you had any opinions on AI's new impact in music, the Drake voice cloning, Grimes giving away 50% of future royalties, those sorts of things. Do you have opinions about those?
Sure. I mean, it's both scary and also makes it in one way that the humans have to step up. I am more looking at the part of sound and mental health, and how that could be linked together to help people. Everything is a lot on how we feel is through our 5 senses, and when I'm building brands and or creating brands and concepts, I always think through the 5 senses, and I call it like the 5 senses together is the 6th sense. And I think that Zound could or Marshall Group could play a big role when it comes to sonic mental health.
So for people unfamiliar with that kind of concept, what does that entail?
Well,
Is that things like personalization of music, towards people, or am I going in the wrong direction?
Neurology.
That is something I can't talk about. I gave you my
too much already.
No, I don't think I gave you too much, because it's quite hard to figure out, and probably someone will, but I have a very clear view on what it could be and how it could help. But it's a very interesting space, and what I'm saying is that if sound was dumb before, I think that it can become smart in the future.
Interesting.
And that will be together with AI.
Yeah, I absolutely get it where you're going, Konrad, and you're always a businessman that gets the trends right. So watch this space, viewers.
Smart sound. I love it.
Yeah.
They say that, or I say, like, how could you see that? And I think that I've been trained to it, because I've been doing so many, I go over the different fields, and I just have a way of seeing and putting attention to things and put them together into something new. It's not that I invented something that wasn't there, but with sound, our big breakthrough that was that I put a microphone on the headphone and I made it fashionable. It was, no one else could do it like us. I mean, we were the most successful and we grow like crazy. And then I went on and did this electric boat, and I mean, it's a huge innovation, but at the same time, it's not something that, I couldn't think of that. But when I did it, people were like, don't you know that water and electric doesn't go together? And I was like, I do know that.
Yeah, but like boats don't already have electrical components in them.
Yeah, and I'm like, there is like certain certifications that you can follow to make it safe, and and this goes on and on in my story of my life, that the more I've been training on business development, the more luck I have that I can see things that are going to happen, and I
bring them together. Yeah, gotcha. And on X-Shore, because obviously I'm interested in the whole aspect of obviously, as you've explained, you're not actually in the day-to-day management of the business, but just your view, because obviously I knew you for many years, and have known you for many years, and the sea and boats have always been a passion of yours. Yes. And see, this was a passion that became a business, I suppose a bit like Zound. But with X-Shore, clearly I obviously follow Tesla. I have a Tesla. I'm not so up on my, how many of the new boats are electric. Is there a trend towards the electric? Is there a big push within the industry that boats have to become electric like we have in cars? If
you ask me, it's always going to be too little part that is electric, of course. But if we take it back, to 1996, when I actually founded the name and I had the idea, it was way too early. So it was one of these things that I had to put into the drawer. I registered the brand name X-Shore globally in 1996.
Wow.
And in 2012, when the Tesla S came, I started to see like, okay, now the technology is actually here. We could do, because my whole thing, the same with the headphones, is that I don't like, or I don't have the knowledge to build everything from ground up. So I do a lot of the concept in the end. I work with different parts that is already invented. Otherwise, I need like thousands of persons to develop this for 15 years. And ADHD or ADD or whatever letter combination I have wouldn't, you know, be there in that cellar for 15 years. And in 2017, we got our first prototype. And when I drove that, I have a movie on it when I'm like, this is people are standing at the dock and they're looking like, why doesn't it sound? And I'm like, this is a Tesla. This is like Tesla. And I was so amazed myself, but that prototype only went like 400 meters. We got it up to 12 knots. It was going to do, you know, 10 kilometers, but it did 400 meters. And it was going to do 25 to 30 knots, and it did 12. So that whole thing was in one way disappointment. But when I came out on the water and it was quiet, there was no fumes, I just saw it like, okay, I have to throw money on this project because this is how it should be, to be on me, the world's best place, which is the seas and the lakes, without disturbing the other nature and having
it's another example, right, of your 5 senses making your 6th sense, right? Yeah. I also like that it's the classic debate of, you know, first mover advantage versus newcomer advantage, right? And sort of having the idea, being a first mover in that sense, but waiting for the right time where a lot of stuff came together that then allowed you to seize the market opportunity, and being a first comer for the seize portion of it. I always find that it's this interesting, you know, there's a sort of movement of pros and cons on both, right? There's never really a clear answer on which one's more effective.
So I'm a hybrid of you know, being the second one who throws in the investment to be away from all the mistakes that the first mover had. So in both of these stories of Zound and X-Shore, it's been you know, the first mover has been from a marketing point of view. And then when we turn the market and create demand, that's when we're coming with the big volumes.
You did also talk about the importance of wellness, mental health, obviously going off to the Himalayas, and family. I suppose as a leading technologist and a founder of businesses, I mean, are they key? Are those characteristics I mentioned key to your life and the way you do work?
You know, I've been working my whole life, and I lost one family because I worked too much. And at the time, that was the right thing to do. But it's important to find balance. And I think that to be able, you know, if you run a business, it's like a marathon. And where are you going to get the energy back? Where are you going to reload? And for me, I'm reloading with nature. I do a lot of things in nature. I have a garden here where I grow all my vegetables and fruit and berries. I get almost 2 tons of food in my garden just outside here, and it improved all my health with putting that in place.
Is this at Mountain Stream, or is?
No, it's in my house in Stockholm. So in the middle of Stockholm. Mountain Stream is up on a mountain, so it's very hard to grow things there except mushrooms and some berries. And the older I got was that I made a lot of research on what gets you old. And if you read any of this, it comes back to, like, you know, train, eat healthy, and be with your friends and family. That is like the top 3 to keep your mental health, your physical health, and be happy.
What kind of formed some of the basis of Wildhood Foundation, or did that come first, or where does that fit into the story?
Well, you know, when like I said, you know, I've been doing a lot of things right, and then some things that I wasn't educated enough to understand. And if we don't protect our greatness of wild animals, or all animals, like small to big, we will lose the fauna will change, and that is a huge challenge for us to keep it. And I just love the Wildhood, where we employed, you know, thousands of women protecting the animals. And it's not only that it's women who's protecting the animals, but for some reasons the animals are not afraid of women, because there's have never been a poacher that is women.
If you expand a bit more for the listeners, so this foundation is it in Scandinavia, or is it
No, it's in Africa, in Kenya. So
okay.
The women are rangers, and it's a friend who educates them, that was a sniper, and it's called Akishinga. So it's actually a movie around it in the National Geographic, where they show everything. And the good thing that is that we're giving the money and the control of the society to the woman, is that rapes has gone down. The money is getting reinvested into education, instead of the guys have been a bit more into drinking and other stuff.
So interesting.
So it's changed the whole society, and if I can make that be part of making that change in such a small way that it was for me in time and in money, even it was quite a good sum, it still really helped, and building an inspiration for others to help too.
Interesting.
That's great. And I suppose expanding on that and the wider world, if you were to sort of look ahead, you mentioned one of your other points, you just obviously had a child, or another child with your new family. You know, and I have kids, and I always worry about stuff and what's around the corner. I mean, what's the real sort of scary thing that you feel, you know, our kids, the next generation, you know, the world, is it this, we touched on it earlier, is it AGI, is it the whole onset of things being out of our control as humans, technology taking over, what's, you know, like the Terminator, I could go on, but is that something that
I spoke a lot around the AI in like 2015-16, when we started to develop quite a lot of voice control products. And what we need to understand is it's us humans who has programmed this. You know, it didn't come out. Now it's starting to program itself, but at the time we were actually learning it. So we have a responsibility, but we also need to step up and think one step further. What is this actually making? What is this, you know, we're at the technology stage where it maybe could, or it will, and it can take over us. But it's actually us who started that whole snowball effect.
And so we've only got ourselves to blame.
I mean, a lot of narratives, right? If you look at works of fiction, right, where, you know, people bring about their own demise, that story kind of works that way, right? You started something, you got the ball rolling. 20 years later, it comes back and kills you. Right? So it's not out of the realm of possibility, but I don't know if it's probable.
Yeah, no, but I'm positive. I do think that we can change it to the better. But I think that we all, every individual needs to start to understand the reality and the challenge that we are facing. And it's the small steps together that will be the big impact. It's saying like, I don't do anything is going to kill us. But I want to change and I want to be part of the solution. If we do that together, that will make the big change.
Thank you for all the insight. It's been a pleasure talking to you. And thank you from me, and thank you from Anthony, I imagine.
Yeah, thank you very much. Love the approach, love the projects, and just keep going.
Thank you.